They literally straight up told me, I think if she was still alive, she would have been bigger than Beyonce. I was about 8 years old when Selena was murdered. And even though I've seen all of the previous movies, interviews, and the series, there was something different about seeing the raw footage of her in the new Netflix documentary called Selena y Los Dinos. As a licensed therapist, there's some things that I want to discuss and break down. But before I do, put in the comment section, what did you think about this documentary? Because my initial thought was that I'm so glad the father had a knack for music. If it wasn't for the father wanting to pursue maybe his own dream, but seeing something unique in his children to want to push them and want to say, no, we're going to practice. I see something unique in you guys and you guys are going to perform. We wouldn't know the Selena that we know today. Now, I also think that the drummer, the sister, may not have wanted to play the drums and may not wanted to be a part of it, but he was like, well, who else is going to do it? I love the fact that it was all about family. In every single interview that Selena did, she always talked about how they were one and it wasn't just one person. And when she was successful, the whole family and the whole team was successful. I think that showed a lot of good values that was instilled in her, right? Because she was the one getting all of the notoriety, being in the forefront, and people saw her the most. So she could have easily took in all of the glitz, the glamour, and the influence and ran with it. And it was the concept in their family of truly started from the bottom, now we're here. Like that was what the energy was giving in regards to their family. They went through a lot. Their life wasn't perfect. Dad lost his job. They had to move in and it was like 13 people living deep in their uncle's house. Like it wasn't an easy journey for them, but they didn't quit. They just kept pushing and persevering. And obviously it paid off. Now the raw talent that Selena had blew my mind. Obviously I knew she was good, but I was like, this girl is good. She can sing, she can dance, she was into fashion, she wanted to do more than just music. She was right in that moment of crossing over into the US market. When I was talking to someone that I know about this documentary, they literally straight up told me, I think if she was still alive, she would have been bigger than Beyonce. She just has this it factor about her, right? Like she was very personable, very likable. She seemed real cool and chill. And I love the way that she worked really hard, not just obviously in front of the camera to perform, but even simply just to learn Spanish. They said that Spanish was not her first language. And when she saw and when she did, I don't know if you guys saw that, when she did those initial interviews very early on in her career and she was being interviewed in Spanish, she was struggling bad, right? But she learned. She talked to her dad, where Spanish was his first language, and then she became fluent. And I was like, girl, you did that. Before we move on, it has come to my attention that only about 4 to 5% of you guys who watch my videos are subscribed to my channel. So y'all will watch, but y'all won't subscribe. I need for us to change that. Hit that notification button, hit the subscribe button, because it does help me to create videos like this for you every single week. Now let's get back to it. Now, the true authentic trade-off that she had to endure was losing out kind of on her childhood and just doing the regular things that children typically do or teenagers typically do. She talked about not going to regular traditional school and not seeing her friends and not having a real life outside of that. And if she did anything fun, like go to the movies or whatever, it was with her whole family. And so she kind of spent majority, 99.9% her time with her family, personal and professionally. Looking back on it, you can obviously say, well, it paid off, it was worth it. But also when you're in the middle of it and when you're a child and you want to play and you want to go outside and you see everybody else going to birthday parties and dating and going to the movies and going skating and doing all of these fun things, but you have to practice, it does weigh on you. And even though her family had a very hard time with her getting married very early on, I'm glad that she got a chance to do that. You know, the concept or the idea of tomorrow isn't promised. This is a prime example of that, right? If she would have never followed her heart, followed her gut, marrying Chris Perez, the love of her little life back then, she would have never experienced what it was like to be a wife, because obviously her life was taken too soon. It sucks that she never got the opportunity to have children, and her sister would talk about making sure that when they did get married and have children that their kids would play together. She didn't get a chance to experience that, but for a short time she did get a chance to experience what it's like to be a wife. It makes me wonder, like, where would she be if she was alive today? And being gone at just, what, 23 years old is probably one of the saddest things ever. Honestly, it reminded me, seeing all of the footage and videos of her and photos of her, it reminded me and you that we need to document our lives. And not necessarily because we think that someone is going to create a documentary of us one day, or because our lives are that interesting, but it's nice to have some things that you can leave your loved ones behind. It's nice to be able to watch some old videos or see some old pictures of you to kind of like go down memory lane so people can keep you close to their heart when you are no longer here. And this is like never before seen footage. So these are things that the public never got a chance to see. And think about how important that is. And this is why a lot of the time somebody dies when they're, 80, 90 plus years old, and then you see a picture on the front of their obituary from them in high school because they didn't take a lot of pictures, or they didn't take anything, or don't have videos, and it was just very hard for the family to gather some of those things for them. Like, we don't want that to be you. We don't want that to be me. I was encouraged to document my life more intentionally because you just never know. I love the fact that they did not spend a lot of time talking about how she was killed or even giving the murderer a lot of energy. It was a quick 3-4 minutes where they talked about what happened to her, and then they moved on. And this documentary truly focused on the highlights, the positive, the good things about her life, not some of the negative, but they also kept it real too. When I was doing some additional research, I found that the murderer is up for parole, or could be up for parole, in 2030. And at the time of this video, it is 2025. So she has another 5 years that she could potentially be out on parole. Kind of makes me wonder what kind of life she would have outside of prison, right? Like, who's gonna hire you? You're going to be known as the murderer who killed Selena for the rest of your life. And that's going to have to be something that you hold onto your conscience. And I'm sure the general public will never let her forget it either. So thank you so much for watching another review on my channel. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next review. Bye.